What is going on, FA Nation? Jonathan here with Howard Bender. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Playbook Preview Show. We are looking at the Friday 12-game main slate, Howard. We are looking at a large field of options for us here, which is better because the last couple of days we've been impacted by rain. The Thursday slate got knocked down from 5 to 3. We saw the Wednesday slate lose a couple of games here as well. At least when you have 12 games, if you lose a couple, you still have 9-10 games to play from. You're not down to what is basically a dart throw slate here, because we do have some potential weather, at least on the board. Once again, Cleveland, that Cincinnati-Cleveland area over the last couple of days dealing with rain. East Coast been dealing with a little rain. Baltimore potentially looking at some impact there in their matchup against Milwaukee. So a couple of weather factors that we're going to have to pay attention to as we get closer to roster lock, obviously, but at least for the most part, this slate is looking clear. We also, as a quick scan here, we do not have Coors Field. Colorado is in Toronto.
Just going to say, so there's not only is there no Coors Field, but we're not dealing with let's say opening day when you had 6 elite starters on the board. There's a really good mix of what we've got going on here on this slate. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Smash that like button, please, the subscribe button, so that you know when the next show is. I can tell you flat out, the next DFS MLB show will be at 4 p.m. Eastern on Friday, as Henry Wilson and I get you guys all set and squared away for lineup lock there. So let's get to it here. Let's get to our preview here, John, and let's talk about who we like and who we want to target against.
Yeah, listen, obviously big slate, a lot of pitching options here. Top price starting pitcher is Kevin Gosman at home against the Colorado Rockies. Howard, I gotta get your thoughts here on Gosman. Velo drop, one of those pitchers that are dealing with some decreased velocity here. Hammered by the Yankees, we expect. The Yankees have a good lineup, so maybe that happens here. Had an okay first start against Tampa Bay. Only 69 pitches in that first start. Got lifted after 51 because he got hit around by New York. Are you worried at all about Kevin Gosman here against the Colorado Rockies of all teams?
I mean, I worry less about the team, but the thing with Gosman is that Toronto has to play this for the long haul, and we know that he's been dealing with the shoulder issue throughout spring training, and that's kind of what delayed everything for him to get started and to get underway. So, do I look to pay up to the top starting pitcher who may only throw 80 to 85 pitches, and then that means that he's got to be super efficient and with a high strikeout rate there. So I'm kind of easing up on Gosman there. I don't necessarily know if I need to pay up all the way up for him.
Yeah, last year, it says right here, just referencing the analysis, average 94.7 miles per hour in his fastball, just 91.4 miles per hour in his most recent start. Not great there. Yamamoto, Peralta, Bryce Miller, Max Fried, Michael Wacha, a lot of guys here in the 9 and 8K tier. It is a large slate, Howard, so there are plenty of options to kind of pick and choose our way through here. Any standout matchups for you?
I'm okay on Yamamoto against San Diego. He's seen them now. I know they've seen him, and they beat him up there in that first start. So I think that Yamamoto, smart enough pitcher and getting into a groove where he's now, on schedule. So I would look to Yamamoto as if I was going to actually spend up for that kind of money. Freddie Peralta, you gotta love Freddie Peralta. I don't love this matchup against the Orioles.
Right.
It's just, I know that they've got, now it's like another influx of youth with Jackson Holiday, but even their youngsters like Colton Cowser's hitting real well, and the top of the lineup with Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson is hitting well. So again, I don't think that I need to pay up, for that. If I feel like, I need to pay up for somebody and get those strikeout potential, then I think I could go Yamamoto over Freddie Peralta just for the matchup.
Sure. Yamamoto got 80 pitches in his last outing, so you have to assume maybe that pitch count increases a bit here in his next start. Mid-tier's a little bit interesting. The last time Reed Detmers and Tanner Houck pitched was against one another here, and they both went for big-time outings. Houck, obviously, against the Angels, 6 shutouts, 7 strikeouts. Detmers against Boston, 6 innings, 1 earned, 12 Ks. They're in Boston this time. They're not in L.A. Any interest in either starting pitcher in this matchup?
Yeah. Did we not say anything about Max Fried? I kind of like Max Fried.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of ran through the list. Fried's fine against Miami. He's another one, though, I worry a little bit about. He hasn't been very good in his 2 starts. Philly and Arizona are not Miami, but Miami does have some guys in their lineup that hit left-handed pitching. They got to Stroman in the Yankees the other day, so who's not a lefty, he's a righty, but that offense did have a little pop to it. Berger homered on his birthday, so got to always worry about that. And Fried not looking great, but sure, Miami definitely a favorable matchup. Walker's in that range coming out.
That's what I was going to say. I like Walker as well. I think, forget about what the Mets bats did on Thursday. It was a great game for them, but they were going up against a minor league pitcher. They weren't, being utilized, forced. A minor league pitcher who was like forced to just stay out there for at least 5 innings and just take his lumps. So I think Walker plays real nicely here against the Mets. I like Houck over Detmers. But I do think, you're right. I mean, they're both in that situation where the Red Sox, who are just, they're loaded with lefty bats. And the question is can Detmers get them out? So I think, yes, that's a good mid-range spot to play in. Absolutely.
Abbott last year had a pretty good year. This year, they did have a lot of indicators that maybe he's pitching above, what his performance actually was looking like. But he gets the White Sox here. Are we just continually to target Chicago's offense in matchups?
I mean, I think you have to. I mean, their big move was Oscar Colas. I mean, I think that's it tells you a lot about that team. The White Sox lineup is just absolutely horrendous. So yeah, you have to look at Abbott. He's got great upside there. It's a hitter friendly park in Chicago, but it's not as hitter friendly as the Great American Ballpark is there. So I think Abbott works real well. And if we're going to keep targeting against the White Sox, we're going to have to keep targeting against Seattle and see if Jordan Wicks, the Southpaw, can work his magic there.
Yeah, love the 100 pitches. Good, great to see that he got that opportunity to throw there. Really tough matchups for him at Texas and to open, and then the Dodgers in his next start there. Love the strikeout, 6 and 7 Ks there, 4 and 4 2/3 innings. Only 2 earned runs, a lot of those tough spots here. We're expecting a bigger output of strikeouts probably in this outing. And I mean, we just saw what, like you say, Kikuchi did against them. Like we'd see, the Toronto pitching staff had no problems against Seattle here. So I'm with you there. I like Wicks at $7,900 there as well. Other value plays, Paul Blackburn keeps pitching well, $7,600. We don't like Oakland that often, but Washington isn't all that great. Brandon Pfaadt has a lot of good underlying metrics. I know he got beat up by Atlanta in that last start, but if you go look at his Fangraphs page, his FIP and XFIP's like under 3. So maybe some potential here for him against St. Louis at home.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've got Brandon Pfaadt marked down here, as well. So I think that I'm like middle of the road against the Nats. Nats, look at their numbers right now. It's not just in the sense of what they're doing against right-handed pitching. They might not be hitting for like big power here, but they are getting hits and they are working the count. And so I do like Blackburn. Listen, I've got Blackburn. I've been using him in 2 fantasy leagues. But for this one here, if I'm gonna be paying down, I'd rather pay down for Brandon Pfaadt against just a seemingly lost St. Louis team for sure.
Yeah, as long as you're not throwing to Ivan Herrera, you're basically doing yourself a service there going up against the Cardinals. And I largely agree with you as well. I said this on the first show. Washington last year was a bottom 3 team in team strikeout rate. They just do not strike out, which means they put a lot of balls in play. And when you're putting a lot of balls in play, there's an opportunity for those balls to fall in for hits. And then next thing you know, you're running up pitchers' pitch counts and they're out early. So I do kind of agree with you. Certainly potentially a bit of a tough spot there for Blackburn, but at 7,600, Off of 2 good performances, you could maybe see some ownership go his way.
How about on the other side of that game? How about the $5,200 Jake Irvin against this Oakland lineup?
It's interesting. Again, I don't think Jake Irvin is very good.
He's not very good. He's not. So, what's worse, him or the A's lineup? They just put Brent Rooker on the IL, so he's gone.
Hey, they put some runs out on the board the other day, right? You know, Langlier's homer. They got Blade, not terrible, you know. So probably a no-go for me. Do you have any interest in Ryan Feltner? I mean, 2 starts for him, including 1 on the road against Tampa Bay. He had 10 strikeouts in that game against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I feel like he looks good on paper, especially with the matchup that Toronto hasn't been hitting right-handed pitching particularly well. Yeah, I mean, you could. You could. There's not there's you know, I mean, again, if you know, I could go down to Irvin just as much as I could go down to Feltner.
Sure. Honestly, I don't even.
You're also you're dealing with Bichette, and you're dealing with Vlad, you're dealing with Springer, you're dealing with, you know, at least a veteran lineup here that can kind of work its magic.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't even really foresee myself going down this far.
Well, then why are you asking me about it?
Well, because some people watch the show and want to know what our opinions are on some of these cheap value plays. I don't really find myself looking to go much further down than I don't know. Fott might be the cheapest guy. Yeah,
Fott is probably the lowest that I'll willingly go.
I agree with you.
I could just build a lineup just paying all the way down to Jake Irvin, but I mean, I don't think, you know, if I'm not paying up for Gosman and we've identified enough mid-tier, you know, mid-range starters between, you know, basically between 8,000 and 9,000, there's a handful of guys there that I'd rather use rather than like have to try and pay all the way down and then see about which bats I want to get in.
I agree with you. And honestly, the way we talked about sort of the top starting pitching, we might be living in the 8 and 7K range with picking 2 starters on DraftKings on this slate, which means on a big slate, plenty of money to spend up on bats if we choose to go that direction. Catcher, generally not the position we look to spend up on bats here. Gabe Moreno's 4K now. He was a mid-price guy we looked at. Yenier Diaz homer today. He's up to $4,400 now. So some of our mid-tier guys we looked at before aren't as cheap. You got Darno against Rogers at $3,700. Corey Lee's been okay. He's 3K. Herrera's 29, but we like Fott. You know, what are you thinking when it comes to catcher here?
Well, you know, again, if Herrera's in the lineup,
kind of just going there.
2,900.
Sure.
I mean, listen, we did that with Yenier Diaz for the first 5 days of baseball. I'll keep paying down there. Your boy Connor Wong paid off. I don't know how, you know, against the lefty.
He'll play against lefties. He'll be in the lineup versus lefties this year. So yeah. So, I mean, you're looking at some good stuff there. I think that, you know, you could pay all the way down for those guys. Sure. I mean, if we're kind of lining up with, we're just always going to punt against the catch, you know, punt the catcher position. Yeah.
And that's where we're going to live. Then it's not so much about like really where are we identifying the slate here the night before. It's at 4 p.m. when the lineups are out. What's the cheapest catcher with the best matchup right now?
I agree.
Right. Where is he in that lineup? So we'll definitely, you know, we'll feature that when we get into the catcher position on the 4 p.m. show.
Sure.
So, but I mean, yes, for the sake of us kind of like building something here, you know.
I think you said it. I think that's fine. We'll find a value play.
Nobody really pops.
Maybe. All right. First base. More exciting position.
Much more exciting.
We know the top guys are all there. Big slate, 12 games. Ohtani, Olsen, Freeman, your top 3 price guys. 2 of them facing King, 1 facing Rogers. One's a lefty spot there. Naylor against Schmidt is kind of interesting. I liked Josh Naylor this year. The power numbers for him since he went to Cleveland have been legit. You know, the sample sizes obviously had been small last year. He almost was leading the league in RBIs for a while. Dude's on a bit of a heater. Clark Schmidt does not hit pitch against lefties very well. I don't mind Naylor if you're looking at $5,100.
Yeah, I don't mind Walker against Steven
Matt.
Matz, the lefty. Matz is terrible.
Yeah, yep. Again, if you don't think Fried's going to figure it out, Berger's there at $4,800.
Oh, how about Pasquantino against Severino?
Yeah, big day for Vinny Paz. Big day for all of the Royals on Thursday. So Pasquantino at 43 makes some sense there.
Big
Andrew
day for
Vaughn hits for
Pasquatch on Wednesday too, man. He's actually really turned it on. You know that a guy had a big day when DeMarco in our Discord is asking if he should jump on that train.
And he should.
So I've been watching Pasquatch nice and closely here for him.
Yeah. Andrew Vaughn hits lefties pretty well for power, $4,100 for him. Josh Bell's 41, so a couple of guys in the mid tier.
Christian Encarnacion Strand should not be overlooked either. Chris Flexen pitches to a ton of contact.
Yeah,
doesn't matter lefty or righty.
Waiting for the power to come for CEH.
Sure.
It's bound to be there. Walsh versus France seems fine. Get
your boy JD Davis in there.
Yeah, could against Irvin if you're going against that.
Mm-hmm.
Could go Noda at 3K as well. What do you mean? Ryan Noda could get it done. Got hits in all but 3 games this year. That's probably it though.
No, you don't like Michael Bush against Bryce Miller?
Nah, not really. I like Bryce Miller as a pitcher.
All right.
Second base.
You
get Albies versus really lefty.
Oh, there. Albies versus lefty. Yes, Rogers is right
there. Marte also versus lefty in Mats.
Mm-hmm.
Good spot for that.
Semien in a very hittable spot here against JP France.
Mm-hmm.
Another one there. Gleiber against Carlos Carrasco. I'm not a Carrasco guy by any stretch of the imagination. I think all Yankees should probably play.
Yep.
Shout out to Anthony Rizzo for lefty bat for at first base. I didn't even, we overlooked him.
Took one slate. Jackson Holiday, second base, $3,900. So.
He's already 39?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
And he's second base, so he's no longer shortstop where he was, which is good because we want to be able to play Gunnar Henderson and figure it out.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy that he's at second base, but I need like 2 more 0 for 4s and drop that price down to something a little bit more sensible than this 3,900 hike for going 0 for 4.
He got an RBI.
Still, he went 0 for 4. I know he paid value at $2,000. Sure. I know that. I'm just saying, one RBI ain't going to cut it at 3,900 now.
Sure. Not really a lot down here after that. I mean, Kevin Biggio against Feltner will be in the lineup hitting 6th again. Reyes is $2,800. It's not much else though for value here.
Oh, you left your boy Gavin Lux out. You always like to mention Gavin Lux when he's going up against a righty.
No, it has to be the right righty, and I like Michael King, so I don't think
Michael King's been wild as. Ooh, I almost said a bad word. Wild as all heck.
Yeah, but I think the talent is there for Michael King.
He's going to turn it around.
He had 1 walk. He had 1 bad wild game. He had 7 walks against the Giants. That's not good.
7 walks, dude. What is that?
But 7 shutout. He figured it out in the last start there. Third base. You got a favorite of the third base tier here, Howard?
Do I have a favorite of the third base tier? No, I don't really have a favorite. I mean, again, Jose Ramirez is obviously, he's been tearing it up. So if you want to pay up for him, Riley against the lefty. I'll skip Devers against Detmers. I'll skip that one. I'll also skip Bregman against Dunning. I just, Alex Bregman does not strike me as a $4,900 player. Okay. He just doesn't. So, I like Berger against Fried. That'll kind of play. Chris Morel. I know you like Bryce Miller, but I always like Morel as well.
Morel's got a lot of power.
Eugenio Suarez against Mats is a good spot here. Sure. Candelario against Flexen is a good spot here. I won't say Muncy, the lefty bat, against your boy Michael King, but Max Muncy against Michael King.
Listen, power is there for Muncy. Homered the other day. Again, I don't know. I don't think I like the Dodgers, obviously, but Muncy strikes out a lot. King's a strikeout pitcher, so probably off of Muncy in this one's particular matchup.
Josh Smith, he's only 3,100 still.
Just keep playing him.
Nice little bargain guy.
Yep.
Right there.
Beatty down here is 3K still, even though we like Waka.
Yeah. Beatty's been fun to watch now. It's unbelievable. Him and Nimmo are like wide awake for the Mets.
Yeah. That offense they couldn't have been that bad forever, right? Just kind of work through the early season thing. Yeah, the Josh Smith thing is good. And he's shortstop eligible again, third base shortstop. So fills in for one day when Corey Seager gets the night off, and all of a sudden he's got shortstop eligibility.
Beautiful. Thank you.
But definitely the value spend down there for Josh Smith.
I don't see anybody else down there. So
no, I moved over to shortstop already.
All right.
For the listening audience, I moved over to shortstop. Bobby Witt Jr. is having himself a day on Thursday. You can always pen up for him. Severino's there. Seager, Henderson, the whole crew. Ellie, I know you keep saying like you don't want to go. Ellie is here, dude. 3 straight games without a strikeout. Howard.
3 straight games without a strikeout is very nice. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he's got Flexen. You think Flexen's gonna strike him out? I don't. So
I don't think Flex is going to strike anybody out.
No,
I can't wait to see what the under on his strikeout prop's going to be.
Yeah, so I really like Ellie here at 55.
Okay.
Good spot for him. Abrams, I like Abrams at 45. I think that tier of Volpe and Abrams in this grouping is pretty good at 46 and 4,500.
Yeah. I like Volpe a little bit more. I like his approach at the plate. It's been nice. I also don't like Carrasco at all, but I get either one of them. 100%. 100%.
They bumped up Pena's price $100. Big sad.
Yeah, right. Adames against Tyler Wells, I think is a pretty nice matchup. I know that you like the lefty bats for Milwaukee the other day against the righty. I think Tyler Wells is definitely a very hittable guy as well. We'll talk about that obviously.
I told you, Hunter Green, be afraid. And the Brewers went out there and they scored some runs off of him. So definitely felt good about that call. Value guys feel like Blaze Alexander against a lefty and Matt, Orlando RC against a lefty and Rogers, 2 guys that we play $3,600 and $3,500. Could definitely find themselves not only as stack pieces, but if you're just looking for one-off spend downs, both of those guys are in good places here.
Yeah, for sure.
True value. Smith we talked about already at 31. I don't really see much else down here that I would play.
No, probably not. I like Rocchio so much. He's just not putting it together yet. I think there is talent there, and there's definite possibility against Clark Schmidt, but just not ready to commit to him yet.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's move on to outfield. Where obviously there's a bunch of top spends. We say it every show. Find your stack, pay up for the outfielders. We don't need to tell you to play Judge and Soto and Acuna. You just kind of know that they're, they are very talented, very good players. So plug them in as you wish. Yeah. Let's examine more so the mid tier here, Howard. What do you think?
Are you talking below 5K or are we still right around 5K? Because I like
5K range and under works for me.
I like Gurriel, obviously. I like the Arizona bats against Steven Matz. I think that definitely works. It's really tough to argue against using Tyler O'Neill. The dude just is he's mashing. 6 home runs right now, and he still has a walk rate above 17%. So I think he obviously gets that look. Yelich just said to him at 49 against Tyler Wells. I think that's a good spot for him.
Agreed. What do you think about Stanton? Let's get real here for a second on Giancarlo.
I mean, it's power potential. I mean, you can do it. He's sink or swim, right? He's either going to strike out or he's going to hit a home run.
The last couple of games, though, he's got 3-0 strikeout games in the last 5. So, he's making some better contact. We know the power is there. He slimmed down in the offseason. I mean, if he's going to be a 250, 900 OPS guy, we can live with that. We couldn't live when he's hitting 180, though, right? We need that kind of power, batting average combo. Definitely kind of interesting with Stanton in that lineup. Ozuna versus lefty.
I just feel like if you're paying up that much, I want somebody who's a little bit more of a complete player.
Sure. Okay.
I want the stolen base possibility. I want the multi-hit game kind of a thing. I don't need 1 for 4 with a home run.
Well, he's got true. The home runs do play though, especially when there's men on base.
Sure.
Of him. And there's few guys I think with like that level of home run potential. I think.
All right, Yelich versus Stanton at the same price. I'm taking Yelich.
Yeah, that's fair. I like Ozuna at 46.
Yeah.
$100 there. That's a pretty good number for Ozuna in that matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan Carter's 45. I'm going to go in that spot. Could just keep going. Cincinnati lefties against Flexen, Fraley, Benson, that old crew.
Yeah, I think that's definitely in play for sure. No doubt.
Grichuk's got the lefty matchup against Matz at $3,900.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What else do we like down here, Howard? Melendez.
Could go Melendez, yeah, against Severino. That's obviously there. Nelson Velasquez also, has that same matchup. Jackson Churio sitting there at 3,600. I like seeing that for sure. That's definitely a way to go. Sal Frelick, again, against Wells. I think, those Milwaukee bats are going to play. And then if I'm looking further down the list there.
Yeah, I think Blade at 3,400 is a bit interesting if you wanted to go against Irvin. Let's see. You have Rosario. Robbie Grossman had hit lefties pretty well when he was with Texas. He's $3,100 there.
Yeah. That dude knows how to draw a walk.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Let's see.
I did a whole article on him on Fangraphs years ago.
Perkins here. I put him in the playbook the other day. He had a hit, a home run, and a stolen base. So Blake Perkins, I think at $2,900 should be. I assume he's gonna be back in the lineup here, going up against Wells at 29. So be on the lookout for that. He's kind of been rolling right now for the Brewers.
Yeah, I could definitely see getting behind that for sure. For sure.
Let's see.
Seth Brown, any interest in there?
I think if you're going Oakland, you kind of have to because he hits in the middle of that lineup. So
the only one who hits the middle of that lineup.
Yeah, he doesn't even really hit. Kauser's 2,500 still. Would you just keep riding the hot bat?
Absolutely. Even against Peralta. Well, I mean, that's probably that's the tougher one. But I mean, again, if the Orioles get to Peralta early and they chase him after 5, let's say they work that pitch count up, I wouldn't be too against that.
Nope, I agree with you. Probably it though for me.
Yeah, unless Joe Adell's in the lineup because he's killing it nowadays.
Yeah, I know. You gotta trust Joe Adell all of a sudden.
Never.
If
I'm not gonna trust Stanton, do you think I'm gonna look at Adell?
You never know. All right, let's get a lineup going out here. We like the mid tier guys. I don't think we were looking to spend up at all. We liked Wicks here against Seattle, right?
Yeah, we did like Wicks against Seattle. We're going to do that. And then the question was, did we want to try and target Houck against the Angels again? Or are we just worried that now they've seen Houck and, and they're expecting breaking pitches nonstop?
He throws almost exclusively sliders. We could go Waka or we could go Abbott. I feel like Abbott's in a better spot. He's just not as consistent of a starter.
Yeah, that's why I think I'd go Waka here instead.
Okay,
let's try Waka. See what happens.
It gives us 42. We're gonna spend down a catcher. Let's just give a nod. Do you want to go?
Let's hope Herrera's in the lineup.
Yeah, let's hope Herrera's in the lineup against Fott. That works. First base.
First base. Who did we say we wanted to look at for first base? We were
we liked quite a few different spots. Pasquantino was here at 43 in the mid tier.
Yep, or you were big on Naylor at 51.
I did like Naylor at 51.
Did you like Walker at 49?
Yeah, I'm good with going Christian Walker. I like him at home here against Mats. That's please.
All right.
$4,300 second baseman here, Howard. Okay.
Oh, well, let's get Albies against the lefty here.
Okay.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
You go back to Josh Smith here just for the value.
If you think we need to.
We may. We'll see if we can move up. We will. Shortstop, Blaze Alexander or Arcia? Blaze probably gets close to Walker versus lefty, right? Didn't they hit him up in that lineup?
Oh, yeah. They could possibly bat him second there. So, yeah, I'll go Blaze Alexander.
All right, now we got 3 outfielders for 45, and I know we had some cheaper outfielders that we liked, so we could probably get a top spend outfielder in our lineup. You liked Lourdes. Go back to Lourdes here.
Yep, I liked Lourdes.
And that gives us 4,250.
Oh, I liked Yelich too.
You can see we could probably do them both. Where's Yelich? 49. That gives us a 36. That gives us Chourio. Look at that.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful, Howard. Wicks, Waka, Herrera.
Wicks and Waka. That's pretty funny.
Albies, Smith, Alexander, Gurriel, Yelich, and Chourio. Gives us a couple of Diamondbacks. Brewer stack, one-offs of Atlanta and Albies and Smith. And then going up a couple of mid-tier starting pitchers for this 12-game main slate. So a lot to go over, a lot to break down still here. Again, Howard and Henry will be back live for the 4 p.m. live show. Our guy Jason on the Playbook, so be on the lookout for that nice and early to get you all ready for this main slate here. Howard, any final words for the people at home?
Nah, I got nothing. I got nothing for you anymore.
All right, everybody, tune in to the show at 4 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you then.